everyone, I'm Mita and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I wanted to just give some basic general college application advice because that shit is scary, as well as go over my personal journey and how I got accepted into Georgia Tech, which means going over my stats, my extracurriculars, awards, and just like volunteering and things like that. I hope you guys enjoy and learn some things from this video and maybe feel a little bit better about this college process afterwards. The first half of this video, I will be focusing on more general advice that can be pretty much applied to every college, and then I will focus more on Georgia Tech specifically and what I think got me into that college. So I applied through the Common application to all of my colleges. The Common app is like this website, and you basically add every college you want to go to that website, and every time you sign in, everything is in one place, which was the best for me. There's other ways to apply to colleges, but I just found that Common app was the best choice for me. So if your college does take Common App, I would definitely recommend using that. So some overall advice I have is, number one, when you write essays, have someone read over them. I don't care if you were the best essay writer, it is just so good to get someone else's feedback, especially someone who's gone through the process. So I ended up showing my essay to 3 people, 2 of which graduated from Georgia Tech and 1 of which actually got into Northwestern that year. And they gave me some really good advice, things that I didn't see. And I revised that essay for a solid 3 months. I worked on that essay throughout the summer. And when I was ready to apply to colleges, that essay was ready because I had so many people read over it. And it's always good to get that criticism because this is a really important thing that you're doing. The second advice that I have that I think is just so important is to start early on your college applications. I started applying to colleges over the summer before my senior year. And it wasn't like I was applying to colleges. I started with researching the colleges and then I started writing my essay throughout the summer, so that when I was actually sitting down and applying to each individual college, most of it was kind of already done and I was familiar, and it wasn't just this big thing that I needed to complete in a week. It wasn't rushed, and it was a lot easier on my mental health to just not do it so late. On top of that, apply to colleges that you actually want to attend. If you just keep applying to 15 different colleges, if you don't want to go to those colleges, don't apply to them, because that would take time and effort away from colleges you actually do want to attend. If you're applying to this college that you really don't want to go to, even if you get in, you can focus that energy and make a better application for that college you actually want to go to. And not only will you feel less overwhelmed, but you will just be putting your energy where it should be going, instead of just this random college that you just feel oh shit, it's an Ivy League, I have to apply. I did a solid 2 weeks of just researching colleges and writing down really what they're looking for and what I'm looking for, and then picking my favorites through that, so that you don't end up applying to just every Ivy League because it's an Ivy League. Apply to colleges because you want to go there, and you're not wasting your money, you're not wasting your energy. Definitely have at least 2 or 3 backup colleges that you apply to. Maybe these aren't your first choices, but you just know you'll get in because the bar is a little lower. Because I know people who their stats were amazing, their extracurriculars were gold, and they didn't get accepted to their ideal college, which didn't make sense to me, but it happens and you need to be prepared for that. Don't get cocky, have a backup plan, because then when you get into that college that you didn't really want to go to, you can just transfer after a semester or a year and everything will work out. But if you don't apply and you just apply to reach colleges, then what are you going to do if you don't get into any of them? So just make sure you have that backup plan. And I would say when you're applying to colleges, really sell yourself, but don't be overly I babysat for a goldfish once, and I'm gonna write that on a college applicant. Don't do that, but don't underestimate yourself. Maybe you volunteered at a library for a year. You should mention that is part of your life, and even though it's not through the school, it is important to mention these kinds of things too. So don't underestimate what you've done. Put those on your application because they are part of who you are. And lastly, I would say reach out to your counselor if you're confused about anything. I am a socially anxious little child. So when I was doing this, I really didn't want to reach out to my counselor because I just didn't know her. But over a couple months, I would have some questions about financial aid, or am I doing this right? And every time I contacted her, she answered my questions. She gave me a couple of resources. Counselors are there to help you. Just be polite. respect the fact that they don't owe this to you, but they're helping you, and really just use it because they're there for you. They're there to help you. With that, it sums up pretty much my first section of this video, which was about just general college advice. So now I want to get into the Georgia Tech specifics and my personal stats and extracurriculars and all of that good stuff. So something you should know about Georgia Tech specifically is that it is a much more like Georgia resident accepting college. It really does prefer to accept students from Georgia, and I am a Georgia resident and I've lived here my whole life, and so I think that partially just like a little bit might have, influenced them, but they do accept plenty of out-of-state students, plenty of international students, so don't be scared to apply. I just want to put this out there that their statistics for, accepting out-of-state and in-state is a wee bit unbalanced. Scores are not everything. They are important. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say my stats. When I graduated high school, on my official transcript, my unweighted GPA is a 96.4 and my weighted GPA was a 101.1. So that is with all the classes that I've taken that has earned me a high school credit. I took 9 AP classes throughout my high school career. 5 of them I had taken when I was applying to Tech, and 4 of them I took my senior year with scores that came out in the summer once I had already been admitted. I took AP World History my sophomore year, AP Biology, AP Psychology, AP Chemistry, and AP Lang my junior year, and I got a 5 on all of those exams. I took AP Lit, AP Physics, AP Calc BC, and AP Drawing my senior year of high school. I'm just gonna leave AP Drawing out of this because I feel like not only was it not important, but I just did rough on that exam. So I did get a 5 on AP Calc BC and AP Lit, and I got a 4 on my AP Physics exam. But I will say that the college wants to see that you're challenging yourself by taking these AP classes. So like, it doesn't matter if you get a 5 or a 3. Just the fact that you're taking these higher level classes and really working hard through them, like that's more what colleges look for than like, oh, you're getting all these 5s. Like obviously, maybe that's a plus, but do not let that be your one and only, like, oh shit, I didn't get a 5 on like every exam, then I'm done for. I'm not getting into college. Like that's not true. Don't think that way. As for my SAT, I did end up super scoring after 2 tests of 1480. I ended up never submitting that score or the ACT. I never took the ACT, and I never ended up submitting my SAT score to any colleges because I felt like I didn't do as well as I wanted to. They gave us the option because of COVID to just not submit the exam, and I feel like because of COVID, I just did not do that well. Like I could have done so much better. I could have taken the test multiple times, had a higher score, but it just really did impact me, and I thought it was the best decision for me to not submit it. But that was my SAT score. Let's get into awards. So our school had this thing called like the Honors Excellency Night, which basically like if you had the highest grade in that class out of all the students that took that class, or if your teacher just like deemed you worthy, you would get an excellency award in that class. And so I ended up getting a honors chemistry award in 2019, AP Chemistry and AP Biology in 2020, and AP Literature and Economics in 2021 as like this excellency award. I'm not necessarily sure if I had the highest score in that class or if just like my teachers just really liked me, but that was the awards I got. I also got the UGA Certificate of Merit in 2020, and I did get the AP Scholar with Distinction Award from College Board as well in 2020. I did get other awards outside of school, but I didn't end up mentioning those because I forgot about them. I wanted to focus on my extracurriculars. I was in this thing called Orchestra Council throughout high school, which is like this additional thing on top of orchestra where like you would help plan events or like set up or come up with ideas and things like that. And I was the president of Sinfonietta Orchestra for 1 year, my junior year, and I was the head of planning in orchestra my senior year. I was also part of this thing called Chemistry Club for 2 years, and I was the secretary my second year. I was part of class council for 2 years, part of One-to-One Reach, which is like this tutoring program for 1 year, my freshman year. I was part of Science National Honor Society. I also ended up having an internship in biology my second semester of my senior year. Now, I was planning on interning at a lab, but because of COVID, there was limitations, so I ended up just like interning as like a TA kind of for my biology, like my AP biology teacher. Lastly, I will be talking about the essays. Now, I'm not going to be reading my essays for the sole reason that they are cringy as hell. But if you guys do want to hear me read my essays that I wrote, I will be willing to. Just comment below, letting me know that you want to hear them, and I will make a separate video reading my personal essays. But I do not think that Georgia Tech looks at that big Common App essay. I still wrote it because of my other college admissions. I would say my biggest advice on writing an essay is choose the essay that reaches out to you. Do not pick the one that sounds like the most academically sexy one. I remember when I was applying to Georgia Tech, for one of the essays we had like 2 options, and do not quote me on this, but I think one of them was like write how you think Georgia Tech will like make you better, and like 2 was write like when you felt like you were part of a community. And although I feel like that first one was like the one that most people will pounce on because they're like, oh, this is the essay that the college wants me to write about, I actually ended up writing about the second one, and I wrote about like my Persian American heritage and how I kind of found my place and found my community. And I felt like that essay really did stick out compared to like, I want to go to Georgia Tech because CS majors, And do not be fake. Like, I know that you want to make the best of yourself on these essays, but you should not be applying to a college that you think is not going to accept you for who you are. Put your best foot forward. But if you feel like you need to be a completely like different persona than who you are for this college, maybe it's not the right one for you. So just be yourself, and the college should, accept that. Anyway, that is the end of this video. I really do hope that this served as like something helpful for you guys who are applying to college, and I wish you guys the best of luck. I know it's a tricky process, but you got this. If I got through it, you'll get through it. So really just like reach out in the comments if you have any more questions, if you want me to like make any more videos answering any other questions, because I will be more than happy to. I hope this video helped, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Let me just bye.